Okay, so today we will be going over Visual Superscript, continuing with data entry components, and we will be learning how to add insurance information to the patient profile. You'll learn how to edit prescription information. So say you made an error and you need to correct it, I'll show you how to do that. And you also will know how to look up all of the medications that a patient is taking to look at their medication profile. So the first thing to do when you get to your Visual Superscript is to sign in. So I'm going to sign in using my login information. And for confirmation, would you please verbally let me know if you can see my screen, you guys?
I see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I am on the main screen in the Visual Superscript database. And from here, I am going to first uh, show you how to add insurance information to a patient's profile. So using maybe one of using your lab book from the pharmacy technician principles and practice, you can even view patient profile information. And so I think it might have Cigna. If you ever want to see what type of insurance the computer already has, you can go under insurance plans, and then you can click search. Take it back. You can click list. Excuse me. You can click list, and you can see all of the plans that the database has. So when you learn about insurance information, you'll know that every insurance has what's called a pharmacy bin number, RX bin. That's what it'll say. It'll have a RX bin. Sometimes it'll have a PCN number. These are insurance information. If you Google insurance cards online, you'll see like a pseudo version of it. So that way it can show you what patients would provide at a pharmacy, so their medications can be billed under their, if they have a prescription drug plan. So for starters, if you wanted to add insurance to a patient's profile, go ahead and go under insurance plans and kind of get a look at what insurance plans are already in the system. So for this particular example, I'm going to use Cigna because I was looking in chapter 8 on page 96 on our pharmacy technician principles and practice book. I'm going to use Cigna, and then I'm going to add that one to the patient profile. So using what I used yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to click on customers, and the patient that we added to the profile all week was Minnie Mouse. So I'm going to click search. You do that by looking at the magnifying glass. And just for reminder's sake, somebody tell me, how would I look up the patient? Is it by first name? How do you look up the patient in the system?
Last name.
Last name. Good. So I'm gonna type in Mouse. So I see Minnie Mouse, and I want to add her some insurance. So the way I can add insurance to her is click Edit. And now that I have Edit, I'm gonna click on the tab Insurance Plans. 9 times out of 10, it's already there. It defaults to that tab. So I click Insurance Plans, and then on the right hand side, I'm gonna click the New option, the new link. So I click New, and it starts asking me to fill in the blank spaces. So under the coverage type, she's the primary card holder. Under insurance, As soon as I click insurance, it gives me the listing of insurance plans. So, um, like I said, using the book, I'm going to use Cigna. Um, Although the patient is actually Sandy Smith. You know what? I have an idea. Scratch this. So you have to click something and then click delete so you can get out of that. So I'm gonna erase this portion. So I'm press close. So start by, here's an idea. Start by entering the information from your lab book. So I'm gonna add the patient, and this is Sandy Smith under patient profiles. I'm gonna go to customers. I'm gonna click new, and I'm gonna add Sandy Smith. I probably should have seen. Let me cancel. Let me first see if she's in the system. Always make sure if they're in the system or not. Because remember, we don't want to duplicate a profile. So I'm entering in Sandy Smith into the database. Okay, based on this particular profile, it's missing a birthday, but that's okay. I'm gonna add in a pseudo birthday. I'm gonna put 0209 1964. Payment type, I'm gonna say she has insurance because I'm gonna add insurance to her profile. Her gender is female, and remember, when you're adding a new patient, it's gonna ask you if the person is head of household. You can put yes, and you can add them as a family, as the family head, and then you can just put in their address information. It's missing the zip code on this patient profile too, so I'm just gonna create one. Add a phone number. Okay, and save. I'm gonna close. Okay. And remember, if there are special notes to add for the patient, you'll put the notes here. In this case, I'm gonna add the insurance information. So from here, I'm gonna click new. It lets me know that I have not entered allergies for this person. Do I want to enter allergies for this person? Sure. Yes, I do. Um, there are no known allergies for this person based on the profile, so I'm going to click no. Always remember, when you are looking at a pop-up box, always read the pop-up box. So now that I'm on insurance, under coverage type is primary, I'm going to click on the insurance box, and it wants me to put in what's the plan name. Based on the insurance information, it says Cigna. So she has Cigna. So I'm press OK. Her status is active. It wants me to input the cardholder ID. Based on this, I'm using again the information that's in front of me. It wants me to enter a group number. Now, when you start learning how to do insurance in a real pharmacy setting, you'll learn that some insurance companies, when you get ready to bill them and process prescriptions through them, some of them require the group number, some of them don't. I'm talking about what's on the insurance card. So you'll sometimes have to play with it. But if you understand how to properly put insurance through, you're going to definitely be extra beneficial to your pharmacy. So coverage type and the member. Oh, hi, how are you? Okay, so based on this information, it says the person is the spouse. So I'm gonna put 02 under member number, and then I'm gonna change. You can scroll over. Come on. Card holder, member two. So with insurance companies, sometimes I want to also share, sometimes insurance companies might have a different date of birth for a patient. In that event, there is always a column, or should I say a section in the insurance file that lets you put in an insurance birthday. Like sometimes the insurance might have a different birthday from the patient. It's really the patient, it really is the patient's insurance, but sometimes based on who put the information in the insurance profile for the patient, they might have a different date of birth. I've seen people, uh, they their birthday is January 1, but the insurance thinks their birthday is January 2nd. And so as you see me scrolling this particular column, it lets you put in an alternate birthday. That's where that would be if there was such a case. So I put 02 because the person's relationship is the spouse. So the primary person would be 01. If it's a spouse, it's 02. If it's dependents, then it'll be 03, 04, so on and so forth, based on the oldest person, oldest to youngest. So I've entered patient information. I've added a new patient, and this time you saw me add insurance information. So I've added the Cigna, I've put in their card or ID, and I put in their group number. So most important thing after you input information is to click save. Um, I was looking on here to see if there was anything else on the profile based on this form that I needed to do. So I've shown you how to enter insurance in a patient profile. Now, if you already had a patient and you just needed to enter insurance information, all you would do was go, all you would do is go to customers, go to search the person. So in this case, I'm going to say Sandy Smith, and you press OK, and then you click edit. And if you needed to add insurance, all you have to do is go down to the bottom and click on insurance plans, which 9 times out of 10 it's already defaulted there. You'll click new, and then you'll add the insurance information. Sometimes people would change their insurances, so that's why whenever a patient comes to the pharmacy, you always want to ask them if any of their information has changed. Do they still have the same insurance information on profile? And then you can get to and then you can get them to verify what type of insurance they have on file. So person you goodness. Can you guys see me okay? Uh-oh. Can you guys see me okay?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay. The, there was a cord and it accidentally fell. My apologies. Where was I? At the end of putting in any information, you want to make sure that you click save, and then you can click close. So now that I've shown you how we go over adding insurance to a patient's profile, let's next learn how to look up a patient's profile. So oftentimes in the pharmacy, you will have patients giving you a phone call. They'll call you and ask you various questions such as, hey, I would like a refill, or is my medication ready? Or when is the next time I can refill a prescription? Or they may ask if a doctor has called in one of their prescriptions. Various questions that may be asked, but you need to know how to navigate through the system in order to assist the patient. So I'm going to show you how to go over the patient's profile so you can see if they wanted to call and ask for a refill, you would know how to do that. And then you can also see how to look up the last time they took a medication. I'm going to show you all of that. So the first thing that you would do to look up a patient's profile, to see what their medication history, you're going to click on Fill RXs. Once you go to Fill RXs, that's going to bring up the prescription processing screen. So the prescription processing screen is open. And on the left-hand side, it's going to give you some options. So if you were typing a prescription, you would be looking at the record, at the record prescription. If you needed to look up patient information as far as their customer history, you can go under Refill RXs under this tab right here. And then if you are needing to do prior authorizations or to reverse a prescription, you would go under here. So all of this right here is an additional section for the prescription processing. So if you needed to look up a patient's history, you would click on Fill RXs, and then again, that's going to bring you to the prescription processing screen. And then you're going to click on Customer History Refill. From there, it's going to give you an entire new screen that's going to show you all of the patient's history once you select that patient. So for this example, I'm going to type in a patient with the last name Apston, Kenley Apston. So once I type that person, it lets me know that there are no prescriptions for that person. So what you're going to see me do now is just click enter where the hand is pointing to. That way I can see all of the customers that's in the profile, because I just want to use a person's profile for example. So when I press enter, I see various people. This gives you all of the patients that's in the actual database. So I just clicked enter so I can see who's in the database, and let's see if Maddie Allen has any prescriptions. Okay, she has one. I want someone who has multiple. So let me go back. Let me see who else has multiple prescriptions. Okay, here it is. So Belinda Alford has multiple prescriptions. She has had Plavix, she's had hydrocortisone ointment, aspirin, potassium, metoprolol, succinate, simvastatin. She's had quite a few different medications that have been filled. Now, if it's grayed out, that means it is no longer active. If the background of it is grayed, it means it can't be filled, or there is no longer an active prescription. Just in case if you ever wanted to know. If ever the background is pink, that means it's new or on hold. And then if it's white, that means it's, I want to say if it's white, that represents it could be filled, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, these are a lot of medications that the patient is on. You'll notice the prescription numbers on the left-hand side. You'll learn the prescription date. These are the dates the medications were prescribed. You'll see the prescribed medications. You'll also see the quantities. You'll see the day supply. You'll see if they have any remaining quantity. So if it says 0, that means they have no refills available. That's what that represents. Remaining days, this is if they fill the prescription, and they may want to know when is the next time that they can get it. This particular column will let you know how many days remain until their next fill. It also tells you on the database the last time the prescription was filled. It tells you what type of quantity was given last time, and then it tells you the fill status. So the last time this person picked up a prescription was June 2019, and it was filled. It tells you the doctor information. If you scroll, I'm going to use the bottom. If you scroll the information, it'll show you the doctor information. and then it tells you what was dispensed. So this is the customer history based on their medication profile. Now, in this, if a person wanted a refill, they would call and say, hey, I wanted to see if I can get a refill on my Plavix. Well, the first thing you need to do when you are speaking to a patient is ask them to verify their name. And okay, so you want to refill your prescription? May I please get your first and last name? By them telling you this information, that's them verifying the correct name. Once the patient's information appears, you'll ask them to verify their date of birth, because you always want to have what's called two identifiers. So if they identify their name and they identify their birth date, that's good. You can also ask them to verify their street address or their telephone number, because if you have the patients on the phone, you definitely want to utilize that opportunity to speak with them and make sure that all of their information on their profile is still accurate. So this is one of the ways how you can go to a patient's customer history and see what has already been assigned to them. Now, through this, I'm going to share with you it. That's why it's important for you to know the brand or the generics and the indications of medications, because patients are going to ask you, uh, they may not know the name of their medication, but they can tell you what it's for. Yeah, I need my ointment. Can you refill my ointment? Well, if we look at her profile, there's only one ointment on the profile. Another example, if the person says that they need their blood pressure medication, based on this, it looks like they have at least two blood pressure medications. That would be the enalapril and the metoprolol. But this is because I know the indications of medication. So it's important for you to also look up and keep on learning your top 200, so you'll know the brand, the generic, and what something is for. Sometimes patients know the brand names of their medications and not necessarily the generic names. Technically, the generic names are longer and the brand names are shorter. So sometimes they might actually remember the brand name of something. For example, a person might say, yes, I need my Zocor. I want to fill my Zocor. Based on understanding the brand and the generic, Zocor's generic is simvastatin. So you as the pharmacy technician would check that and then you would fill it. Obviously, it can't be filled because there are no more refills remaining, but I just wanted to give you an example of how you would go to the patient profile to look up information. If you were in class, we would be simulating this all day, because I would have other students call and pretend to be patients. And maybe one of these days, once we get more familiar with the database, I'll show you how to do that too. But just wanted to show you how you would look up patient customer history to see what medications they have on file. And this is how you would do that. And then if they said they needed a refill, you could actually click on the medicine. So I'm going to say, for example, this is one of the medicines that the patient wants to be refilled. And it's Plavix. So once you click on it, you'll click Fill RX, and it lets you know this prescription has expired. Um, so if I click Refill Expired RX, it lets me know well, technically you should not cancel. Ah, let me go back. Who was that person? Verlin. Ah, Alford. I think that was her name, right? Look at my memory. I love it. Okay. So it's not going to let you fill it because it's expired. Let's see. Okay. So when I tried to fill it, it lets me know it's expired. And then it asks me, do you want to basically get a refill authorization for the doctor? Let's see, because I'm trying to see if it'll show you what a refill authorization looks like. Here it goes. So if a prescription is expired or there are no more refills remaining, we as a pharmacy technician can send a refill request to the prescriber. This is a service that's done by many pharmacies, and that's a communication from the pharmacy to the prescriber's office saying, hey, this person has no more prescriptions remaining. Will you refill it? And then they can receive this either fax, it can be sent electronic, or if it's a really urgent matter, you can even call the prescriber's office to request it and get a verbal authorization. By law in the state of Florida, pharmacy technicians can receive a verbal refill authorization. So that is something we can assist with. But say the person came to the pharmacy, wanted a refill, the communication you should have to the patient would be there are no more refills remaining. If you'd like, I can contact your prescriber's office to request a refill. And they'll say, oh, yes, please. Yes, I would like a refill. And so you'll say, I'll send the communications, but I want to also encourage you to, follow up with your prescriber's office as well. So once you're on this screen, if this screen appears at the top, it's going to let you know what is happening. So here I'm going to put so this is basically telling you what's happening with the prescription. It cannot be refilled because it's expired. So at this time, you can print a refill authorization request form. Once you print it, then you'll see what it looks like. I'm going to try to do that so I can show you. Um, I wonder, does it show? Ah, click cancel. Click preview refill authorization request form. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this is what a refill request looks like. Of course, this is simulated, but it lets you know what it looks like so you could see what the prescriber's office would be signing off on. If they had additional refills, they would check here. And then just like a regular prescription, it would need to be signed and it would need to be dated. Now, although the last quantity field looks a little different, it's really 14. It looks like an extra number behind there. So it tells them when the medicine was last filled. This is a really good depiction of what a prescriber refill request form looks like. So I wanted to give you an example so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to close the preview, but I just wanted to show you. And then to exit, all you have to do is click exit. So I wanted to show you what it's like to go to, again, patient customer history so you can see it. So if a person asks for a refill, or if they wanted to know what medicines they have on file, again, you would go to fill RXs. Underneath the prescription processing, you would click customer history, and then you would type the person's last name, enter the correct person, and then the profile will appear. So I shared with you how to look up a patient profile. I have shown you how to add insurance to the patient profile. And I was going to teach you and show you one more thing. Does anyone recall what I said I was going to show? How to edit a prescription. So yesterday I filled a medicine. Was it for mouse? I think so. Let's check. No, was it for Murphy? Who was my patient yesterday? Hmm. Trying to
Wasn't
think.
it Mickey? Minnie.
Okay, so if you want to edit a prescription, if you want to edit patient information, right? To edit a person's information, you have to definitely have the RX number. So I went to the to the customer history, so I can see the refill number. The prescription number. So I'm going to write that down really quickly so I can show you guys what I'm going to do. Okay. So from here, I have the prescription number. Next, we need to first reverse the prescription. If something has been filled through insurance, or even if it was a cash payment, you need to reverse the prescription so you can edit it. So to reverse the prescription, there are multiple ways you can do this in the system, but through here, I'm going to show you. It's going to be through the prescription processing screen. So under the tab, I'm going to click on RX reversal. So in order to reverse the prescription, you have to have the prescription number. So I'm going to enter that information in, 1865568. Press tab, and then it's going to ask you what date was the drug dispensed. I want to say it was yesterday's date. I think it was the 11th. It was the 11th. Okay. So you have to have the dispense date, and you can get all of that information from the customer history screen, just like I did when I originally looked up the prescription number. So you definitely want to have the prescription number and the dispense date. The dispense date is the date it was dispensed, also known as the date it was um, filled. So when you put in the information, the customer name is going to appear, the drug is going to appear. That's also another way of you knowing, yes, this is the correct information. From there, you'll click proceed, and the very first pop-up is going to ask you, do you want to reverse this prescription? You're going to say, okay, agreeing yes. And then the very next question is going to ask you, do you want to delete the prescription? This is very important to understand. You do not want to quickly click something because you might end up deleting the prescription. And if you delete the prescription, then you're going to have to type it all over again. So, no, you do not want to delete the prescription because we want to edit the prescription. So it's asking you, delete original RX. I'm going to click no, and then it's going to let you know the reversal has been completed. From there, you click OK, and then you're still in the prescription processing screen. From there, you can go to customer history refill, and then type in the person's name again. And notice it shows pink. Pink means it's open, it can be filled. So from here, I'm going to click on a request, my request box. I clicked R. From here, I'm going to click on my keyboard the letter E, E for edit. So when I click E, the prescription profile is going to come up, and it shows you all of the information regarding the prescription. So let's say I had the wrong, what if I had the wrong drug? Let's see. Let's click edit. Now, just so you know, there are some things in here that does not let you change it. So for example, when you click edit, let's say you accidentally typed it under the wrong patient. If you typed it under the wrong patient, you would need to delete the prescription because it's under the wrong person. And so you never want to have a prescription under the wrong person. But stuff happens. What if you chose the wrong person? They had the same name, different birthday, different address, and you just accidentally chose the wrong person. I'll show you how to do that another time. But on your edit profile, there's only certain things you can actually edit. So I can edit the doctor information. What if I had the wrong doctor? So what if it wasn't Dr. Redding who prescribed it? What if it was Dr. Brown? Okay. So notice I was able to change my doctor. What if I didn't have the right prescription? What if instead of Visine, she actually had Azop eye drops? Let's see if it lets me change the drug. Yeah. Going back, it doesn't um if you type the wrong drug, you're gonna have to just void the prescription, which you'll see right here. You can void the prescription. Uh, other ways, other things you can edit. You can edit the day supply. So what if you accidentally put the wrong day supply? You can edit that. Um, what if you entered the wrong quantity? What if it really wasn't 15? What if it was 30? You can edit that. What if you chose the wrong directions? That happens often. The main thing to understand is when you do put the directions, only in here is going to show you the abbreviations. So your abbreviations has to be really correct. Otherwise, it won't let you see what it looks like when it's translated. So you have to make sure that your abbreviations are correct. So in this case, it's instill 1 to 2 drops into both eyes for 7 days. What if the day supply, remember we're changing it, what if it was really for 14 days? So now I've changed my directions, I've changed my quantity, I've changed my doctor information. And so whatever I change, I can now click save, and it saves whatever I just edited. Let me go back to edit, because remember I tried to change the eye drops. What's happening, y'all? Probably should not have tried to change the eye drops. Let's see. Okay, well, I changed the eye drops. Okay, let me click close, and then you have to click cancel. And then if you wanted to refill it, meaning, okay, I've corrected my mistake, now I need to run it again, you can do the same thing. And notice my changes are now there. So I changed my drug, I changed my quantity, I changed my day supply, I changed my doctor. Uh, let's see if it will allow me to change the date the prescription was written. Let's see if that happens. And how do I edit it? Who remembers? Why do I click to edit this?
E.
Yep. So when I click E, I'm going to edit. Let's see if it allows me to change my prescription date. So let's say it was really written July 7th. I'm going to save it. I'm going to close it. Think of it like a refresh option. And then we're going to see if it lets us see those changes. Haha! So I've changed my date, I've changed my drug, I've changed my quantity, I've changed my day supply, I've changed my doctor. So you can edit the date the prescription was written. So just wanted to give you guys some examples of how you can edit a prescription and what it would look like after you edit it. And now to fill it, all you have to do is click the request button. I click the request button by checking the box and then click fill RX, and then it comes up. So this is just the same screen as if we had just typed it. But here's a great way for you to look at the SIG in English to see if it makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, then you got some issues. And from here, let me see, does it let us edit it once we're in here? Look at there, y'all. It does. So if ever your directions don't look right when you first like enter it in when you're editing, see what it looks like when you click fill RX, and then your prescription processing screen will appear, and then you can see what happens. What did you put in the correct directions? If not, then you can edit it here and it should let you know. And then from here, all you have to do is click label. It's important to remember when you submit a prescription, you have to click label print, and that way it's going to also print the label. And then notice we still have our same prescription number, and then you click label print, and then you can click close. This is just asking you, do you want to automatically refill it? We don't want to do none of that. And then we click close, and then it gets processed, and then that's it. And then if you ever want to take a look at what the prescription label will look like, let me show you how to do that. You can have this screen open, that's perfectly fine, and you can click print RX label. You have to have the prescription number. So because our prescription number did not change, I can enter that information here. It was filled using today's date, and I can click preview, and from here it lets you know. It tells me the medication, the directions. It tells me everything. And then from here, if you need to turn this in, from here you would do print, you would do print screen, and then you would copy this in a Word document so you can upload it to MS Teams. And that is how you would edit a prescription and rerun the prescription. I've shown you how we look up the patient information for the medications that they have on their customer history. And I have also shown you how to add insurance to the patient profile. That is going to conclude my lecture for today, showing you data entry assignments in the DAA pharmacy management software.